Here's a tough truth for Chargers fans. The path to true contention isn't just about big-name players or flashy offseason moves. It's about making critical decisions that push the team over the edge. Whether it's locking down Rashawn Slater, adding a high-risk, high-reward corner like Jaire Alexander, or figuring out how to stay competitive in a rapidly improving AFC West, the Chargers are at a crossroads. Let's break down the moves that really matter and the ones that could determine if this team takes that next step or stays stuck in the same cycle. What's up, Chargers fans? Welcome to the NFL Playbook Chargers. If you're new here, don't forget to hit that subscribe button. This channel is all about breaking down everything you need to know about the Bolts. We've seen it time and time again. The Chargers are a team full of potential, but rarely seem to put it all together when it matters most. With key contract negotiations looming and critical roster moves hanging in the balance, the 2025 season could be the moment this team either rises to the challenge or lets another year slip by. So, where do they stand now? Let's start with Rashawn Slater, because if you don't get this one right, everything else could fall apart. Slater is the backbone of the Chargers' offensive line, and honestly, he's one of the best left tackles in the game. But here's the thing. Contract negotiations have been ongoing, and we still don't have a deal in place. Yes, he showed up for Media Day, which is a positive sign, but the real work is happening behind the scenes. The Chargers are looking to protect themselves with injury clauses, and it's easy to understand why. Slater has battled injuries in the past, including a torn tricep, shoulder issues, and back problems. And let's be honest, the Chargers' history with injuries and holding onto players is, well, let's just say it's a mixed bag. The team has been burned before by players who couldn't stay healthy. So, asking for injury protection in a deal for Slater makes sense. But Slater's camp is pushing back on that. He's played through injuries before, and he's been clear that he's capable of staying on the field if he's given the chance. The bottom line is, this isn't just about money. It's about what the Chargers are willing to guarantee long-term. And while I'm confident a deal will get done before training camp, it's the little things that matter here. If the Chargers aren't careful, this negotiation could drag on, and that's the last thing they need heading into 2025. Moving on to another major point of concern, the cornerback position. We all know Asante Samuel Jr. has potential, but is he ready to be a true number one? Michael Davis is solid, but not exactly elite. So, what does that leave us with? The Chargers need help at corner, and fortunately, two of the biggest names on the market are Jaire Alexander and Jalen Ramsey. But do either of these guys move the needle for the Chargers, or are they just high-risk, high-reward gambles? Let's start with Jaire Alexander. He's a shutdown corner when he's healthy, but that's the key word, healthy. He's been injury-prone the last couple of years, missing significant time in 2021 and only playing a partial 2024. Now, I know the Chargers love taking risks on injured players, but the question is, do they want to roll the dice again, especially with a guy who may not return to his full All-Pro form? If the Chargers decide to pursue Alexander, they have to consider the potential downside. Are they willing to risk a significant chunk of their cap space on a corner that may not be available when it counts? Sure, if Alexander stays healthy, he could be an upgrade over what they have. But can they really count on him to be a reliable starter for the long term? That's a gamble. Then there's Jalen Ramsey. His name alone carries weight, but we've seen some decline in his play recently. His versatility as both a corner and safety has made him valuable, but I'm not sure he's the plug-and-play option the Chargers need at outside corner. Sure, you can bring him in and see if he fits, but Ramsey's current contract situation is tricky. Taking on his hefty deal doesn't exactly align with the Chargers' desire for financial flexibility. Both players are intriguing options, but the reality is that Jaire Alexander seems like the safer bet if the Chargers want to add a corner who can make an immediate impact. He'll come at a lower cost than Ramsey, and while the injury concerns are there, Alexander offers more upside in the long run. The Chargers can't afford to miss out on upgrading this position, but they also can't afford to overextend themselves financially for a player with a shaky health record. Let's not sugarcoat things. The Chargers' secondary is still a question mark. Derwin James is the star, but he can't do it all. And let's not forget about Cam Hart, a young player with high upside. But we still don't know what we've got yet. There's talent, sure, but there's also a lot of uncertainty. If the Chargers are serious about being contenders, they need to get this right. Adding Jaire Alexander would give them that solid number one corner they've been missing. But if they miss out on him and leave the secondary as is, they're setting themselves up for another season of inconsistency in the backfield. The depth is there, but the Chargers need someone to step up and take command. If Hart can prove himself, great. But that's a lot of ifs. They need to bring in another proven player to ensure the secondary isn't a weak link. Let's zoom out for a second. The AFC West isn't getting any easier. The Chiefs are still the top dogs, no question. But the Raiders and Broncos aren't far behind. The Raiders have revamped their coaching staff, and with Pete Carroll at the helm, they're no longer the laughingstock of the division. They've made significant strides, and Geno Smith at quarterback is a real upgrade. And then there's the Broncos. They're scary on defense. If Bo Nix can get even a little bit of the magic back, the Broncos will be right in the mix. They've got offensive weapons, a great line, and a defense that could be top tier. The Chargers can't afford to sleep on them, and that's why these moves matter so much. The Chargers can't just sit back and hope everything falls into place. The rest of the AFC West is improving, and if the Chargers don't stay ahead of the curve, they'll be left behind. Now, let's talk coaching. Jim Harbaugh and Greg Roman are at the helm. Roman's offense is known for being run-heavy, which works fine when you have a strong offensive line and a solid backfield. But what about the passing game? We've seen Justin Herbert play at an elite level, but will Roman's system allow him to reach his full potential? Or will we see another season of predictable, one-dimensional play calling? Herbert's injury last season was a big factor, but there were also times when the offense just didn't click. Roman says he wants to open things up this year, but can he actually evolve his offense beyond the basics? The run game should improve, but it's the passing attack that needs a jolt. If the Chargers can't figure out how to stretch the field more effectively, this offense will continue to be a question mark. The Chargers' window is open, but it won't stay that way for long. They've got the talent, but they need to make the right moves. Fast. From Slater's contract to adding depth in the secondary, every decision counts. The AFC West is more competitive than ever, and the Chargers need to act if they want to be in the conversation come playoff time. This season could be a turning point. If the Chargers make the right decisions, they'll be in the mix for a Super Bowl. But if they don't, well, it's just another year of maybe next time. The clock's ticking, and for Chargers fans, the next few months will tell us everything we need to know about the future of this franchise.